prepared for something new. Everyone is different. So are you. Stay straight. No masquerades. Do things that you'll remember. You can push too far, but stay fair. Stay on track. Give it your all. Get to the bottom of things. Decide what's right. Don't believe in what the others do. Find it out for yourself. Be close to it all. Bring your heart along. Follow your goals. Reach for the stars. Turn the weekend into the loudest party of your life. Are you prepared?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Lausitzring. It's the second race of this weekend and we're looking forward to a very spectacular race today, that's for sure, because everything is new in the DTM. 2017 has never been more thrilling, and I'm very excited that today the three-time DTM champ Klaus Ludwig is with me. Very thrilled to see you. Now obviously since you've left the DTM a lot has changed, and especially in 2017. So what do you think of the new season?
It will be a very interesting season, but a lot has changed, but in the end of the day it comes to the racing, and the racing stays the same. We're going to have hard fights today, I'm for sure, and we're going to have a lot of strategy.
I'm sure as well. Thank you very much, Klaus Ludwig. And before we start racing, let's have a look back at yesterday's race.
The first race of the weekend was absolutely fantastic. Lucas Auer was on pole position in the Mercedes. He got a brilliant start ahead of Robert Wickens. The BMW Maxime Martin started third and ran third into the first corner. Unusually for DTM, there was no overtaking on the way into the first corner. Lucas Auer then started to control things. Maxime Martin managing to get ahead of the Mercedes and split the pair of them early on in the race, applauded by his team. Various pit stop strategies. Jamie Greene had to come from the very back of the grid after being kicked out of qualifying and was one of the first to pit back on the fifth lap of the race. Lucas Auer started to pull away from Maxime Martin at the head of the field. And there were some fantastic battles early on. That's contact here though. And that was Tom Blomqvist being spun around by Paul de Resta, who'd come out on cold tyres. They're all really struggling on the cold tyres coming out of the pits, as you'll see, no doubt, in race number 2. There's some good overtaking further down the field as well. Bruno Spangler trying to charge through. Robert Wickens there with a good move to get his place back on the BMW. There was Timo Glock, who just come out of the pits, and he was on the cold tyres as well. No tyre warmers allowed in DTM this year, so he went straight off on the gravel, having gone well in Hockenheim, the first race of the season. Rene Rast was the man to talk about, though. They're overtaken by Maxime Martin as he came out, was one of the last to pit, Rene Rast, but he was looking for his first podium in the DTM. And was still in the hunt, would have fresher tyres for the end of the race. Mike Rockenfeller there with a good move on Eduardo Mortara. Rockenfeller was one of the early drivers to pit as well, back in the 8th lap of the race, but he made his tyres last well on the Audi. And there was unfortunate drama for Nico Muller. Looked like he was going to get in the points, but a brake problem put him out of the race late on. Then this move from Rene Rast after hunting down the BMW Maxime Martin to rob the Belgian driver of the final place on the podium and score his first DTM podium. But it was a third career win in the DTM for Lucas Auer, the Austrian driver, taking the victory for Mercedes. Robert Wickens ensuring that Mercedes finished 1-2 in the race, and Rene Rast holding on to take the podium. Absolutely fantastic there. You can see the results. Let's hear now from Verena.
And now I'm here with Lucas Auer, the man who won yesterday's race. But however, today you're only starting in P15. So what were you struggling with?
I made a mistake, a shitty mistake, which was only caused by me, not by the team. So now I have to try to get the best out of it. But I think with a good strategy and quite aggressive driving in the first couple of laps, I will aim for the front.
So you mentioned a good strategy. What's that?
Well, it depends. Either go early or very late in the pit. Let's see what happens. But for me, just focus on the start and first 2 corners.
All right, Lucas, thank you very much and best of luck, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, Lucas Auer there, struggling in qualifying 2. Here's the grid then. Robert Wickens is on pole position.
Second place for Tom Blomqvist.
On the second row of the grid, we have Jamie Greene starting 3rd.
151 race for Gary Puffett in the DTM from 4th place.
5th on the grid, going well yesterday, Maxime Martin for BMW.
First podium race today for Rene Rast. Now he's starting P6. Will he manage again a podium?
Nico Muller would like some points today, please. He starts 7th.
Matthias Exxon on the 8th place.
Starting in 9th position, Augusto Farfus.
Last year, DTM champion Marco Wittmann starting from 10th place on the grid.
11th on the grid, watch for Mike Rockenfeller coming through.
Bruno Spangler coming P12.
And then 13th on the grid, Timo Glock.
Rookie this year, Loic Duval starting from P14.
15th spot on the grid this time for Lucas Auer, yesterday's winner.
Next Formula 1 driver, Paul Di Resta starting from 16.
At the final row of the grid, Maro Engel.
And Eduardo Mortara in the last grid position.
Verena, you with Robert Wickens.
I'm here with the man of the weekend, Robert Wickens. Yesterday, 2nd place, today starting in pole. I guess if you're going to win this race today, it was just a perfect weekend.
Yeah, I mean, let's get the race done and then I can say I'm man of the weekend. But yeah, the team's done a great job all weekend. It's going well. So hopefully we get a good start and just have a nice, boring, clean race.
All right, then. Thank you very much and best of luck. So back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, Robert, the Canadian driver's had a good weekend so far. He was pretty quick in the opening weekend at Hockenheim, but didn't have too much luck. Things didn't go his way. We see Augusto Farfus being strapped into the car, and the Audi driver there, Matthias Ekstrom, one of 6 champions that we have in the field, in the number 5 Red Bull Audi. Chris Hartley here, trackside, alongside with me in the commentary box. It is Alex Terrell. Alex, we have had some fantastic racing so far this season in the DTM, particularly the opening weekend of the season at Hockenheim. And one of the big factors this year is the fact that the teams cannot use tyre warmers. So yesterday, everybody that came out of the pits on new tyres was really struggling.
Exactly, Chris. We had a real amazing race yesterday. We saw this. We had some issues from Timo Glock, also failure from Team Di Resta going out of the pits with cold tires. This is bringing a lot of action into the race, and this is what we want. We want action, we want overtaking maneuver, we want mistakes from the drivers.
They've stripped things back in terms of the communication between the teams as well. See Rene Rast there, who's always dreamed of racing in DTM. Hugely successful sports car driver, Porsche Carrera Cup, Super Cup champion. But the other thing they've stripped back is the communication between the team and the driver. They use pit boards now rather than pit radios. They can still communicate via radio if there is a safety announcement they need to make to the driver, but otherwise that has been banned. We've got no tyre warmers, we've got less pit crew working on the cars in the pit stops as well. So it's 55-minute races for both races in the weekend. Last couple of years we've had a short race and a long race. The short race on Saturday was a straight race. The slightly longer race on the Sunday was always with the mandatory pit stop, but they've changed the format this year. So both races are 55 minutes plus 1 lap and a mandatory pit stop, but that can be taken anywhere in the race. There's not a pit stop window, so you can come in early, you can come in late. It is entirely up to you as the driver and as a team. And rather than the 3-second pit stops that we've been seeing over the last few years, only 2 now working on the tyre changes, but they were still mighty quick yesterday, weren't they, with these pit stops?
Yeah, I mean, the teams are getting more and more used to this new pit stop strategy, 2 mechanics per side of the car, and I'm sure they will get during the year faster and faster changing the tire, but we still see some mistakes, we still see some mechanics struggling to change those tires in a fast way, so I'm pretty sure we will still see some issues during today's race.
Yeah, it's a real pressure job, isn't it, working on the pit stops and putting those tyres on, because you know if you make a slight mistake and you lose a couple of seconds, that can destroy your driver's chances of getting a successful result. There is Jamie Greene then, who is 3rd in the championship standings. He's moved on to 28 points because he picked up a point for qualifying 3rd. The top 3 in qualifying get points these days in this new format for 2017. Tom Blomqvist, driver, former runner-up in the European Formula 3 Championship, and 6th in the DTM in his 2nd season last year. He picked up his first points of the season by qualifying 2nd, so he got 2 points for that. Robert Wickens on pole position picks up 3 points, and he has now moved up into 7th place in the standings. We've got a fantastic race coming up for you very, very shortly. So there is the grid. It is an absolutely capacity crowd here at the Lausitzring. There you can see the huge grandstands that overlook this tri-oval and packed out for this annual motorsport festival. There is the confirmation of the top 10 on the grid. Robert Wickens for Mercedes getting it right at the end of the session with a 1 minute 16.299 to get pole away from Tom Blomqvist, who looked like he was going to be starting on pole. But missed it out by 24 thousandths of a second. Jamie Greene was only 27 thousandths of a second away from pole, but starts in third place. So all three marks that compete in the championship are represented in the top three. Mercedes are on pole, BMW a second, Audi a third. Gary Paffett having a very strong season for HWA Mercedes. Great to see Gary back on form, one of the most experienced drivers out there. And let's see how he gets on. Well, let's see if it's going to be a good day for Audi today. Dieter Gas, the team boss, is speaking with Rene.
Yep, let's find out. Dieter Gas, at the Hockenheim Ring, Jamie Greene won the Sunday race. Today is Sunday again. He's starting from P3. So do you think Jamie is going to manage to make you smile at the end of the race again?
Well, I hope so, obviously. He has been very strong here in the past years already. P3 is a very good position to start from. The race is reasonably long. We know we're quite okay in terms of tire management, so there is a possibility. But we shouldn't forget there's two strong opponents in front of him, which we need to get past first. So we're going to give it a go, but it's going to be difficult.
I'm sure it will be, but obviously the best or the good strategy is always really important. Yesterday with Audi we saw early pit stops, so what can you tell us about the strategy?
Yeah, I think today we're not so much under pressure because we have quite good grid positions with 4 cars in the top 8. Which is okay, but still we have seen different strategies working out fine in Hockenheim, so I'd say wait and see and maybe you get something interesting.
All right, well, best of luck. Thank you very much, Dieter Gas. Best of luck, and back to you.
Great stuff. Thanks for Rene. Dieter keeping his cards close to his chest. Yeah, yesterday we saw from the back of the field Jamie Greene pitted on lap 5. Matthias Ekström also for Audi pitted on lap 6. And Mike Rockenfeller, also an Audi driver, pitted early on lap 8. It was generally most of the Mercedes drivers that went for a later pit stop. But you have really got to think about it this year because there's a softer compound of tyre, and it means the tyres will start to go off at the end of each portion of the race. There you see the championship points. 68 now for Lucas Auer, and he's almost got he has got double the points of Gary Paffett in second place already at this stage of the season. Mike Rockenfeller going very well, the 2013 champion, in third place in the standings. So let's see how BMW going to get on in this race. Verena is down there with Jens Marquardt.
So behind us is Blomqvist in P2, and we saw another strong performance in the qualifying from Martin, who's starting in P5. So what would you say are the chances for BMW for a podium or even a victory?
Well, I'm not making any proposals here in that respect, but I think we're in a good position to start with, and another race here where we can hopefully do better than yesterday. And I think we've learned a few things also about the tire management, and I think also with the lap that Tom did yesterday with myself, maybe that was a bit of a motivation for him. So yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the guys. Good start and then a good first corner, and then we'll see.
And in regards to strategies, we've seen a few interesting strategies. I guess that's more important than ever, so what can we expect there?
Well, I think if you're up front, you have to go more conservative, and if you're further back, you go more aggressive.
Aha, well, thank you very much, Jens Marquardt. It's an open mystery, I guess. Best of luck for the race, and now let's get racing, so back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, absolutely. That was the case yesterday, wasn't it, Alex? It was the ones with nothing to lose, the ones that were starting near the back of the field, generally, that were coming in early and trying something different, with probably the exception of Mike Rockenfeller.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen this strategy already a few times, and we see drivers which are on the back of the grid, they try to pit really early to maybe get away of this traffic and get into another, so when they are coming out, because they lose around 30 seconds on the full pit stop, so they go out in another place of the track, or another situation of the cars, and they have some free laps, and this allow the drivers to get these 3, 4, 5 first laps really quick out of traffic, and maybe this pays off in the end of the race, getting a better position on the classification.
Downside to that is that Jamie Greene, for example, yesterday pitted on lap 5, so he had to make his second set of tyres last for 38 laps, and it's a softer tyre this year, so it's a quicker, grippier tyre, but it doesn't hold the grip for as long in the race. It starts to go off pretty seriously towards the end of the stint.
Yeah, exactly. It's a softer compound. The degradation is more. They made this tire that you have a graining issues, which is like small marbles on the tire, and this is causing loss of grip for the cars. You see now today, because it's the hottest day of the hottest race day we had till now yet. So we'll see how the tire is developing in such a warm day with a high temperature in the asphalt and in the air. And we'll see if the drivers pitting early struggle to finish the race, or the drivers who are pitting late struggle to have a fast tire with a lot of laps in the back.
And you've raced this track when you were competing in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland a couple of years ago, back in 2015. What is it like on the tyres? Is it an abrasive surface?
It's from the tarmac. It's not a really abrasive tarmac. We are not talking about the situation of Hockenheim or Zandvoort where they have really aggressive tarmac, but it's a racetrack where you don't have many straights. Only one big straight line, and the rest is a lot of corner, really twitchy, left, right, a lot of change of direction. So this is causing a lot of degradation in the tires. So we saw already yesterday people struggling to have their tires and the front tires at some points of the race in a good performance.
So there the grid on screen. Robert Wickens for HWA Mercedes. He's going to be on pole position. Tom Blomqvist for RMR in the BMW starts second. Jamie Greene for Team Rosberg in the Audi starts third. Gary Paffett for HWA, teammate to Robert Wickens for Mercedes, starts fourth. Maxime Martin for BMW and Team RBM starting fifth. Rene Rast for Team Rosberg in the Audi starts sixth. Nico Muller for Christian Ab's team starting for Audi in seventh place. Matthias Ekstrom, former double champion, starting in eighth. Augusto Farfus for BMW, struggled so far this season, but a good qualifying position, ninth for him, and 10th place for Marco Wittmann, the reigning champion. Gary Paffett has won 3 times here in the past, and each of his wins, and I've said this a few times this weekend, have come in 4-year gaps, a bit like the Olympics, they come every 4 years. So he won in 2005, the year he won the championship. He won again here at the Lausitzring in 2009, and he won again in 2013, and that was 4 years ago. So maybe he should be winning this race. If he does, it's going to be the first time Gary Paffett has won a race since that race here at the Lausitzring 4 years ago. He hasn't won since 2013. Had a couple of difficult seasons, but he's a top driver, and it's great to see Gary back on form. He's second in the championship, remember. But there is the front row of the grid. To the left, the Mercedes of Rob Wickens. To the right of your picture, the BMW of Tom Blomqvist. Tom, out of the points so far in the races this season, can he change that now? Remember, he beat Max Verstappen to second place in the European Formula 3 Championship a few years ago. Everybody talked about Max. He went under the radar a bit, but Tom Blomqvist finished second in the championship that year before coming into DTM. He's a very accomplished driver, youngest ever Formula Renault UK champion, and the son of the 1984 rally champion, World Rally champion Stig Blomqvist. Green flag is waved then. Round 4 of the DTM 2017 Championship is about to get underway. 500 plus horsepower V8 touring cars are go here at the Lausitzring. Good start for Rob Wickens. Right, Rockenfeller in the background trying to make up places. Tom Blomqvist in second. The orange Audi of Jamie Greene in third place. He's trying to close up to them under braking. Maxime Martin makes a decent start just behind the top 3 as well. But once again, everybody safely through the first corner. Timo Glock kicks up the dust in the bright yellow BMW in the second half of the field. But everybody safely through and all behaving themselves so far at the start of this 55-minute plus 1 lap race. Mark Rockenfeller just on the curbs and running out of space, trying to squeeze through and make his way up ahead. And he's got the first of the Mercedes, the big Mercedes in front of him, as well as Mortara. Lucas Auer trying to work his way up through the field after a mistake in qualifying when he was about to go into his flying lap. Jump start under investigation for Tom Blomqvist from the front row of the grid, the driver of the BMW that currently runs in second. So the Canadian, Rob Wickens, in the lead of the race. Tom Blomqvist, the British driver, followed by his compatriot Jamie Greene, runs second and third. It is Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and you're on board with Gary Paffett, who is chasing the down. He's got himself there in the Mercedes in 4th place. You look back now at Gary, who has managed to pick up a good start here. He's got held on to his 4th place. Maxime Martin certainly got his nose in front going into turn 1, but Gary was able to get the place back coming out of the corner and coming into the pits. Very, very early pit stops here for Mike Rockenfeller coming in, and just behind him was that
Matthias Ekstrom,
yeah, in the Audi, yeah.
Yeah, they're passing now in front of our cabin.
Mike Rockenfeller has been the one making early pit stops in every race so far this season, hasn't he? It's worked for him most times. So they're going to make these tyres last a long time. You heard Jens Marquardt, the head of BMW Motorsport, saying we learnt a lot about tyre degradation yesterday. Maybe the tyres aren't going off as much as they expected. Oh, this is going to be tight.
Pit stop from Matthias Ekstrom, but
Rocky just in front, yeah. There's how important it is to get the pit stops right now. They'll be slippy and slidey for a little bit, won't they, on these cold tyres with no tyre warmers on them. Pit stop penalty, jump start for Tom Blomqvist. So he won't have to come in and make an extra pit stop, but when he comes in to do his mandatory pit stop, he'll have to stay. We'll have to first of all serve a 5-second penalty in the penalty area, then go to his pit box and make a stop. So he needs to crack on with this, and that is potentially going to harm him when you think, Alex, that we talk about the teams maybe losing half a second or a second in the pit stops, giving 5 seconds away, plus the time it takes to stop and start in the penalty area. That's going to make a huge difference to Tom's result today.
Yeah, I mean, this is you can say, okay, you can forget it, because we saw in Hockenheim, Jamie Greene also had a 5-second penalty and he even managed to win the race, but obviously it's not the perfect, it's not the ideal situation for you when you get an extra 5-second penalty in the pits.
That's right, here's the view looking at Jamie Greene. Fantastic onboard shots here. Gary Paffett is right there with him. They finished 1-2 in the second race at Hockenheim. Greene ahead of Paffett. One of Gary's best results for a while. He was on the podium a couple of times last year, but they will know, the team will have told them that Tom Blomqvist BMW is going to pick up a penalty, so that might affect how aggressive they are in trying to overtake him. Although if you're Jamie Greene, the other thing you need to worry about is how far up the road Rob Wickens is getting, because he's starting to pull away in the Mercedes. He's already 1.1 seconds clear. And if Jamie Greene feels he's being held up by Tom Blomqvist, he'll want to get on with this, even though he knows he's already ahead of him in the race because of the 5-second penalty that Tom is going to get. So 5th place, Maxime Martin. Muller is in 6th position. Rene Rast is 7th. Augusto Farfus is 8th. And Lucas Auer is up to 9th place. He's had a terrific start with Timo Glock in 10th position. So very, very good start for Lucas Auer, the championship leader. Twice a race winner now this season, to add to the race victory, the maiden race victory that he scored here at this very circuit last year. And we can see now, taking the high line and then cutting down to the inside is for second place, Jamie Greene. Then in the Audi squeezes through ahead of Tom Blomqvist. Nice move, using the DRS there. When you get within a second of a driver ahead, you can activate your DRS, and that, I'm sure, is what Jamie did, but it was a very good move because he carried the momentum from the high line, and then he darted back down to the inside, didn't he, Alex?
Exactly, he used his chance with the DRS, open DRS, got the right line to overtake. Now we see also Gary Paffett trying to overtake Tom Blomqvist. Will he manage? Yeah, got in the field. Maybe Blomqvist will hold in for the next corner. No, Gary gets the move done.
Good move, fair
now
driving.
Tom Blomqvist dropped from P2 to P4.
Yeah, it's good fair driving that. They got very close together but gave each other just enough space. So two very good drivers. So Canadian leads, British drivers second, third and fourth, Swiss driver.
See now the switchback. DRS open, onto the braking, getting the inside line. Clean move.
Crucially, he didn't go too deep into the apex, did he? So he was able to get a decent exit as well.
This allowed Gary Paffett to close to Tom Blomqvist. We see now again the overtaking maneuver. I think Gary Paffett used also DRS.
It's often the problem, isn't it, when somebody overtakes you, you have to wait until they come past before you can get back on the throttle, and that maybe allows the next
Rene Rast going to Maxime Martin. It's going to be tight, some tires, and
that was close, wasn't it?
Rene Rast racing.
Of course, he passed Maxime Martin to get on the podium at the same corner yesterday, so Maxime's having none of it today in the BMW. Not again, he says. I'm keeping you behind this time.
We also see Lucas Auer really close to a good Augusto Farfus. So everyone now here in DRS zone. Less than a second.
Yeah, Lucas Auer, the young Austrian driver, the pink number 22 Mercedes, the Samsung, the HWA Mercedes. There is Rene Rast, his first full season of DTM. Had a few outings at the end of last season, but here for a full campaign. Delighted with his maiden podium yesterday. He's always wanted, he said, since he was a kid to race in DTM, despite all of his many other achievements. That third place finish meant an awful lot to the tremendous German driver yesterday, Rene Rast. For a long time now, he's been at the top of his game, still with many, many more years ahead of him. Mr. Farfus going well and running in 8th place at the head of this next pack of cars, but as you say, with Auer and Glock trying to chase him down in 9th and 10th position. On board with Lucas Auer and homing in, or trying to home in, on Augusto Farfus.
We saw Marco Wittmann trying into Timo Glock.
Yes, he's got the line, that's for sure, and through he will come. Both BMW, so Timo doesn't fight too hard, and Marco comes through. BMW haven't won here since Bruno Spangler won in 2012, the year they came back into the DTM. That was their 50th victory. It's not always been, in terms of race victories at least, that stronger track for them. Maxime Martin having to close the door again on Rene Rast as Rene shows his nose once more in that battle that's going on between the pair of them for 6th place. With Nico Müller having got ahead of them, ahead of Martin a couple of laps ago. So the Swiss driver there, he's now charging after Tom Blomqvist in the 31 car. So that's Mercedes, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, your top 4 currently. On board with Lucas Auer. And you can see how smooth he is behind the wheel of that Mercedes. There he is.
Everyone is now at the moment in DRS zone. So everyone is less within the zone. A second we see also Augusto Farfur DRS open. Lucas Auers waiting not to open it, waiting for the chance that maybe Augusto Farfur is just more than a second behind Rene Rast, so Lucas Auer can use the DRS. If not, if everyone open the DRS, yeah, everyone is still in the same conditions, so it's really hard to get the position and overtake.
One of the, apart from having tyres that they're now going to make last for basically the whole race, unless it pits again, but that's just going to defeat the object. The problem for Rocket, as we see the restart.
Yeah, jump start from Blomqvist.
Yeah, just
it moved a few centimeters before the red light goes off, but obviously this.
And there's a sensor to pick up on that, isn't there?
This is a jump start.
Yeah, fractionally. And then it all got tight, but everybody gave each other room through the first turn. This is the view from Bruno Spangler, starting in the back in the middle of the pack here. And you need to be looking forwards to the left, to the right behind you at this stage, don't you?
Oh, some touch with Marco Wittmann. Ooh.
Bit of rubbing there, and that allowed Glock to get through. And this was Lucas Auer behind all of that, so they can see. And you've got Luc Duval getting alongside as well.
Don't worry, Lucas Auer wins some position. He went round on the outside on Bruno Spangler, used the downforce. Everyone was in the inside getting this train slow down. He could fire more speed through the outside and get 2-3 position. This usually we saw already in few races is a really good maneuver to get some position in the race, but you might get wrong and don't change any position. We see now Timo Glock coming into the pits.
Yeah, Glock comes in, third one into the pits in the BMW.
Tire change for him.
So you can see a lot less people working on the car than we had in previous years.
8.2 seconds.
Yeah, just a reminder there, cold new tyres, because Timo went off the gravel coming out of the pits yesterday, didn't he? Yeah, there's Ekstrom, there's Rockenfeller, and they have both overtaken Timo Glock. They were the two to pit right at the end of the first lap. So, and the other, last time we saw them, these two were the other way around, and this happened just a short while ago. That was Ekstrom passing Rockenfeller. That was on the way into turn 1. So those two working together. It's good that they're together as well, because at least it gives them the chance to use the DRS. If you're going around at the back on your own, of course you've got no traffic, but you can never use DRS either.
But we see Matthias Ekstrom having a stronger pace than Mike Rockenfeller. He already opened a gap. We have to say also Mike Rockenfeller was under investigation for unsafe relief after that pit stop, but he has no further action, so nothing else will happen for the 99 car.
That's right, they did come out very close together, didn't they? And we've got now coming into the pits the BMW Bruno Spangler. So Spangler coming in, trying a different strategy as well. Difficult season start for Bruno so far. But, well, I'm not sure he's going to repeat the win of 2012, but if he can get some decent points and start to get his season up and running, that'll be very
7
important
points.
for him.
It's good pit stop for Bruno Spangler, who's coming now parallel to Mike Rockenfeller. We'll see now with the cold tires how he managed. I think probably Timo Glock would also chase him down and probably pass him in the next corner. We see how slow he needs to go to keep those tires.
It's a higher track temperature today, though, so it might not be quite as slippy for them as yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. This plays a big and important role, but obviously the first 3-4 corners so complicated to get those tires working and get the grip in the tarmac.
And of course, when you're coming out and trying to stay ahead of somebody that's already making their way bound down upon you into turn 2, instant reaction is to get on the throttle and stay ahead of them, but you've got to be very, very careful. We saw the understeering off and wheels spinning and sliding into each other yesterday.
And we see Lucas Auer trying to get closer and closer to Augusto Farfur using his DRS.
These two sort of dragging each other along quite nicely, aren't they? Doing a good job. Rob Wickens at the head of the field. He's 2.1 seconds clear of Jamie Greene. And then we've got Gary Paffett in third, a further 2.3 seconds back. Tom Blomqvist is fourth, but has got a 5-second penalty once he comes into the pits. Muller and Martin running at the top 6, so no changes at the head of the field thus far. Of the pit stop as Ekstrom leads. Rockenfeller, though, was able to make his tyres last well yesterday. Maybe that's part of the thinking of coming in very early. Spangler and then Glock. So of the 4 that made their pit stops, Glock has come out worst here. Let's see what Spangler can do. So he won here in 2012. That was the year he won the championship title, Bruno Spangler. But currently he's only got 2 points in the championship after picking up a 9th place finish in race 2 at Hockenheim. So a tricky start, but the BMWs have had decent pace here so far this weekend. The race yesterday won by Mercedes, by Lucas Auer. Robert Wickens was second, Rene Rast was third, but he had Maxime Martin going well in 4th place. Success Ballast has been brought into the equation as well after the results of yesterday, of the qualifying session this morning. So that will equalise things potentially even more. Here is Lucas Auer then. Still catching, closing down bit by bit. The Farfus Audi making his way now out of turn 5. And they're going to come into one of the slowest corners, the hairpin now, this left-hander. And then up towards the right at turn 7. You see more tyres being readied.
I think Lucas Auer, as he said to Verena, yeah, we might go for an early pit stop or later. I think at this moment looks for an early pit stop, but we already saw some teams teasing the other team, so making themselves ready that they're going to do some strategy and then going back and sitting on the pit stop. So that's this true. Might be
a little bit of gamesmanship going on there, yeah. But it was the HWA team getting ready. Yeah, and he does come in. He does come in, and I think probably because he feels he's maybe being held up by Augusto Farfus. He can't get past him, so maybe come in now and rather than lose time out on the track. But he'll be well pleased to be up to 9th place, having started back almost at the back of the grid in 15th spot. So in comes the championship leader.
Let's see how the team HWA managed to get a fast pit stop.
When you're coming in under the pit lane speed limit as well, it must feel like you're absolutely crawling, mustn't it? After being flat out 240 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, but you get ready for such a pit stop. You need to start getting ready to focus on, you get your position right. Your clutch, 6.9 seconds, really fast pit stop from the Mercedes team. But like I was saying, you need to really focus on your clutch. You have everything.
Is he going to come out behind or in front of Mike Rockenfeller? On board with Mike now. Now Mike is behind him, but Mike has got tyres that are up to temperature, and he should come through around the outside of him, which he does. So Lucas Auer can't do much about that until he gets the tyres up to temperature. On the way into turn 4, back onto the tri-oval banking they go. Seen weaving actually to try and get some heat into the tyres, Lucas Auer. So of the pit stoppers, it's Ekstrom, Rockenfeller, Auer. They're the top 3 that have made pit stops. Of course, they're a long way down the overall positions. They're 14th, 15th and 16th, but everybody else has got to come in. And Gary Paffett is the first of the front runners to come into the pits from 3rd place. In comes Gary in the Mercedes. He's with HWA as well, so this is obviously a team strategy to bring them in. And they obviously feel comfortable that the tyres will be able to last, even if they go off a bit. It's worth doing now, getting this pit stop done. Gary is almost at the end garage as well, so a long haul down to his pit box, but then he'll be able to be getting straight on the throttle more or less, because he's almost at the pit lane exit. Away he goes, 8.3, so that's 1.5 seconds slower than some of the pit stops we've seen. The very best that we saw yesterday and today have been in the high 6s, haven't they? 6.8, 6.9 seconds. 8's okay, but it's not brilliant.
No, we saw just, I think the front left tire, the mechanic struggled to take it out, and this is so fast. Everything happens so fast that just a small issue take you a second out of your pit lane. We see, yeah, Matthias Ekstrom now will pass him. Yeah, Gary Paffett on cold tires, getting the inside line.
Not much he can do, has to let Eki go.
Some understeer from Gary Paffett now.
So Ekstrom still is the leading pit stopper, and remember he came in at the end of lap number 1 with Mike Rockenfeller, and he is the leading pit stopper now. Gary Paffett has made his stop, is in second, then Mike Rockenfeller a few seconds back now, is third. Eki has really left Mike Rockenfeller behind, hasn't he? Given that they were running nose to tail about 5 minutes ago. In comes Maxime Martin, and that's Augusto Farfus just behind as well. So BMW and Audi bringing drivers in now. The last two drivers to pit yesterday were Mauro Engel and Eduardo Mortara, both for Mercedes. Engel came in on lap 27, lap 28 it was for Mortara. Just 15 laps from the end.
Who's gonna come out first? Martin, Farfus.
Martin was ahead as they came into the pits and stays ahead. Well, where will he come out in the traffic? So he's going to come out behind Gary Paffett and in and around Mike Rockenfeller. Rockenfeller gets out ahead of Augusto Farfus. He's quite a long way back, though, on Martin, but Martin is going to take a while for him to get these tyres up to temperature. This is the onboard from Mike Rockenfeller. He's already upon him and bearing down as they make their way through the left-hander at turn 5. He's trying to go around the outside and not hit the wall. Brave move, that, from Mike Rockenfeller.
We have also debated, like before, Gustav Farfus Lucas Auer.
Yes.
Now we need to see if it was good for Lucas Auer's strategy to pit early to gain the position. And we see they are fighting now together. Lucas didn't really manage to get the position, even if Augusto is on cold tire. Let's see now if he can manage in the next corners. If not, everything will still the same as it was.
Yeah, it didn't quite work for him. Farfus stays ahead. Into the penalty box then for a 5-second penalty for Tom Blomqvist, who started on the front row, was running up there in 4th place, but this is for a jump start. So he comes out of there. So not just the 5 seconds you lose, it's the time you lose coming in and out of the pit box. Let's have a look at the replays on the right there. First one on the right. And it was fractional, wasn't it? But it doesn't matter. It matters if it's a thousandth of a second or 2 seconds. If you jump it, and you get a penalty. Same penalty applies. So Tom Blomqvist now, all in all, is going to really cost him about.
So Lucas Auer attacking Augusto Farfus now.
And that's Bruno
Also the
Spangler
brakes,
as
also
well,
go
isn't
to
it?
the outside, squeeze into Farfus.
And they're all going to come out ahead of Tom Blomqvist, who's coming out of the pits now. They're all getting through by him. Auer at the head of the pack.
Lucas said something.
Didn't sound entirely positive, did it? But
No.
going well now, ahead of Farfus, Spangler, and they all managed to come out ahead of Tom Blomqvist. And the race leader coming into the pits now, Rob Wickens. So coming in, and we're not yet halfway into the race, still over 35 minutes remaining.
A fight to the end with Greene, so keep it going. It's looking good. All sectors are good. Just the last sector, Greene is a slightly bit better.
So there you go. Rob Wickens being told that Jamie Greene having a bit of an advantage in the final sector. 8 seconds, reasonably good.
Should be clear, mate. Track clear. Watch the white line.
Yeah, watch the white line, as in don't hit the accelerator till you've gone past it, otherwise you may still break the minimum pit, the maximum pit speed. That is Matthias Ekstrom and Gary Paffett, who've both made their pit stops. This early decision to come in so far has really worked for Matthias Ekstrom, hasn't it? He's been flying, and he's going to be a long way up the order. Look at that, it's almost as if he's on a formation lap, Rob Wickens, just trying to weave and generate some heat in the tyres.
Yeah, we'll see if Matthias can chase a bit down. Wickens gonna be hard because the gap is still low, and like what you said, the track temperature is quite high. So the tires, we are seeing that the tires are coming in pretty fast, or faster than yesterday. But obviously, it was a good strategy from Matthias to come in to pit early, and his rhythm was really good since the beginning.
Jamie Greene comes in from the race lead. Obviously, he was second before Wickens came in. So this a critical pit stop. Now, the other thing to watch is where is Ekstrom going to be in all of this, because I reckon he's got a chance of being in the podium positions. He's not far behind Wickens. He could even come out or stay out in front of Jamie Greene. Depends what happens in this pit stop, which is going to be a little bit tardy, 8.7 seconds.
Lost 7/10 against Wickens on the pit stop. Problem on the front right tire.
Right, see where he's going to come out. And don't forget, he's going to struggle for grip with these tyres still twitching around as he gets on the accelerator here. There is Robert Wickens. Okay. He's getting out in front of Robert Wickens for effectively the lead of the race once everybody else makes their pit stop. So the first of the pit stoppers is Greene, but Wickens has got more grip. He's got hotter tyres, and he just drives around him as if one is driving in the wet and the other is driving in dry conditions, because that is how much difference there is on cold tyres. But look at Ekstrom, not far back in 3rd place, effectively, of these pit stoppers. Only the top 7 now haven't pitted, so Wickens is in 8th place, but he is the leading pit stopper. Greene, though, is not far behind him, and Ekstrom is the one that's really worked out for him here because he's gone from 8th on the grid. He pitted at the end of lap 1. He could be in 3rd place once the dust settles. But what's going to happen to Eki at the end of the race? Because those tyres surely are going to go off.
Yeah, but I think Ekstrom is a really smooth driver. He managed always to get the tyres, to keep the tyres in pretty good life. So I think he might not struggle a bit too much. Sorry, he might struggle a little bit, but we will see this in 20 minutes. How is he able to keep those tyres alive and in a good shape towards the end of the race?
Yeah, he's essentially more or less trying to do the whole race on one set of tyres, isn't he? Because he did less than a lap at race pace on that first set of tyres. Gary Paffett not too far back as well, still hunting down a podium and more valuable championship points. And at the moment, outscoring Lucas Auer who's the championship leader. He's going to be the championship leader come what may, because he's so far clear after these 2 race wins that he's already picked up. Worst result so far for Lucas has been a 4th place finish, so tremendous start to the season for the Austrian. In his 3rd season in the championship is Rob Wickens then. 8th, but of course the 7 cars in front of him have got to make their pit stops.
Yeah, and we see now also the penalty that Tom Blomqvist got because of the jump start. It really paid because now he's last from the old Peters. He's the last one, and yeah, like we were saying, those 5 seconds are gold time here in the DTM where everything is so close together.
That's right, yeah, I mean, the very best it's going to be, even if everybody that hasn't pitted falls in behind him, he's only going to be 11th, isn't he, Tom Blomqvist? That's the best it's going to be for him, and maybe some of those that have yet to pit might still come out in front of him as well, so that has really destroyed his chances of a podium. Unless, of course, the safety car comes out at some point, then it's a very different story. On board with Gary Paffett at 240 kilometres now on the brakes. He's looking good, Gary, here. He's definitely closing in on the 2 Audis ahead of him, Ekstrom and then Greene. 3 of them together here. So totally different strategies, but they're all together on the racetrack. On board with Lucas Auer. He's another smooth driver, isn't he, when you look at the onboard shots?
It's like you said yesterday, Paffett wins every 4 years. So he should win today, so he needs to really push now and close the gap and try to win the race so we can keep all the statistics alive.
He's aware of it because it was pointed out to him in the press conference. He said, yeah, I know, people have already been telling me this. He'd love to do it. He'll be most pleased, though, if he wins or not, he's going to be super pleased that Mercedes that he's driving, he's back on the pace this year, having, as I say, won the championship, but also come close to winning it on several other occasions. He has had a really tough couple of years, picking up some podiums last year, but not where he wanted to be in the title. But he is up there fighting for it this year, very much so, right from the word go. So Lucas Auer leading the race. It's Nico Muller that leads the way for Audi. Rene Rast is in 2nd, and 3rd is Marco Wittmann, but they've all got to make their pit stops. Paul de Resta is 4th. Eduardo Matara, we know, pitted late yesterday. He's in 5th place. Maro Engel, who keeps on picking up top 10s and points in his first season coming back to DTM after about 5 years away. He's doing a good job in 6th place after concentrating on sports car racing and winning the Nürburgring 24 hours last year. And it's Luc Duval, who is the rookie driver there in 7th place, but not exactly a rookie again, because Luc Duval has a huge amount of GT sports car experience.
For people which are at home and looking also at the live timing, it's so funny to see Robert Wickens lapping 1:17.443. Then we have Jamie Greene 4:43. Then Jamie Greene 4:433. Then 4:13. Everyone in the same 10. It's only a couple of thousand the difference in the lap time. You see how tight it is for the fight for the first place of the race.
Yeah, you're right. The less than half a tenth of a second per lap between Greene, Ekstrom, Paffett, and Wickens, Greene, Ekstrom, and Paffett, all basically identical lap times. So 28.5 minutes of the race to go, and into the pits then comes Luc Duval. So Luc Duval is going for the middle strategy, going in the middle of the race, more or less. So in he comes.
Now we have Ekstrom is in the DRS zone from Jamie Greene, and Paffett is in the DRS zone from Matthias Ekstrom. So we'll see if they use this. At the moment, Greene is only 1.1 seconds from Robert Wickens, so he's still not there yet to use the DRS.
Looked like a decent stop from the team for Loc Duval, for Team Phoenix, and is that Tom Blomqvist that he's going to come out just in front of, but Blomqvist, again, with the hotter temperature tyres, goes around the outside of him. Loc Duval, of course, winner of the Le Mans 24-hour race a few years ago in 2013 with Audi, Team Jost, and winning the World Endurance Championship the same year. Making his debut, the French driver, though, in DTM. He's won titles in pretty much everything he's raced in single-seaters as Rene Rast comes into the pits. Can he follow up yesterday's podium with more silverware today? There you can see on the graphic where Paffik and Rockenfeller are. Rast in the pit lane there, just coming into his box now from 3rd place. So we have just 5 drivers yet to pit in the race. That is okay, but again, it's not a brilliant pit stop. Seems harsh, doesn't it, to say 8.7 seconds isn't brilliant, but we've seen 6.8 and 6.9 seconds, and where is he going to come out? Behind Rockenfeller, behind Martin, or just maybe just in front of Martin, but Martin's just going to drive around the outside of him, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So that will put him in 13th place at the moment, but potentially up into the points in 8th place if the top 5 fall into line behind him once they make their pit stops. There is Lucas Auer, ahead now of the driver that he's been stuck behind for so long in both parts of the race, Farfus, and homing in on Rene Rast pretty rapidly. Sees this as an opportunity. Rene's still getting the tyres up to temperature here, and Lucas Auer is right onto him, but can he make it stick? Can he make a move? He's going to try the outside line and then cut back to the inside potentially as he sweeps through the left. Rene Rast is making his Audi incredibly wide here, and the Mercedes can't find a gap. Rene defensive driving here. He's got to do it. He's got to be ultra defensive because he's on tyres that are not yet up to temperature and still slipping and sliding around. Lucas Auer knows that this is going to be his best chance to get through. He's going to be within 1 second though, so he can activate his DRS here.
I mean, everybody comes in my way. And across the tyre for the mixer.
Guess maybe Lucas not so happy with the amount of blocking that was going on there, but it is still Rene Rast ahead of him just. And we see Timo, Glock as well, and Bruno Spangler, these 2 BMWs who are 15th and 16th. We've got BMW Marco Wittmann in 2nd place, but at the moment that's the only BMW in the top 10. And of course, Marco's got to make a pit stop yet. So Muller leads, Wittmann's 2nd, 4 seconds behind him. De Resta is 3rd, Botara is 4th, Maro Engel is 5th, and they have yet to make their pit stops in the race. And the leading pit stopper is Robert Wickens in 6th place. He's 18.2 seconds behind Muller, as in come 2 of those that have yet to make their pit stops. Marco Wittmann, the reigning champion, in the number 11 car, and number 3 is former champion ex-Formula 1 racer Paul De Resta, the Scotsman, bringing his Mercedes in, trying to get himself some points this weekend if he can. Got points in both the races at Hockenheim, but 8th and 6th will want to be pushing for race wins and race podiums this year. So in comes Paul.
And when we see now, while they're doing the pit stop, we see also Jamie Greene is lapping a bit faster than Robert Wickens. It's closing the gap to 0.6 seconds now, so only 6 tenths behind Robert Wickens. Right. So it's now in DRS zone, definitely, and we just need to see if we get it on camera.
Paul De Resta rejoins behind Farfus. That's going to be 15th place. But it was a slightly better pit stop for Marco Wittmann, as we've got Rene Rast here coming under fire from Marco Wittmann, and on the hotter tyres holding on to, or moving into the place. And now Lucas Auer wants to do the same, so still Marco Wittmann trying to get these tyres up to temperature. Mercedes onto him. You can see how quickly, look, the Audi of Rene Rast is getting away. So Lucas Auer will be desperate to get past. Things have just not quite been working out for him today. He hasn't quite been in the right place at the right time. First he got stuck behind Augusto Farfus early on in the race, and he got stuck behind him again after the pits. Now he's making it move, though, down the inside. Late on the brakes, too deep into the corner, and Marco Wittmann gets him back, and now he's got the Brazilian, Augusto Farfus, on his heels again. He had to try and move there. Getting a bit frustrating, this, for Lucas Auer, and now he's going to have to defend and make his Mercedes ultra-wide because Augusto Farfus is there. Look at them weaving around, trying to get teed into the tyres for Marco Wittmann, trying to shake off Lucas Auer. He's coming again, this time down the inside. Breathe in, hold tight. Who's going to get there first? On the grass for Wittmann, through goes Lucas Auer, and Farfus is going to try and get in on the action as well, but Wittmann closes the door just in time. Mercedes getting ahead then of the BMW, and that was utter determination. Car number 11, Wittmann, under investigation for more than one change of direction. I'm not sure he was necessarily trying to block coming down the straight. He was just trying to get some heat in the tyres, but Lucas Auer getting very frustrated with all of this, but finally he makes his way through, and he absolutely had to do that. As from the lead of the race, in comes Nico Müller. That means Mortara, unless he Mortara's coming in as well, and so too is Maro Engels. So it's the top three now coming into the pits. Black and white flag for Marco Wittmann. That's a warning, but no penalty for Wittmann for the change of direction. So the final three into the pits with just over 22 minutes to go. Where will Nico Müller come out in all of this?
Oh, let's see if
going to have to wait.
Re-release.
Synchronised, that was beautifully done, wasn't it? So a race between these two now. Engel and Mortara coming in together. On the cold tyres, Müller is going to come out just in front of Rockenfeller. So he's going to be 5th or 6th, but on the cold tyres. I mean, the points, though, after the disappointment of the brake issue, which put him out late on. Oh, look, tiptoeing around there, and nothing it can do to prevent Mike Rockenfeller coming through. So, again, Rockenfeller with the early pit stop strategy, picking up nice points here, the driver 3rd in the standings. So this is back into the lead of the race now for Robert Wickens. 2nd place, Jamie Greene, now that everybody's made their pit stops. Matthias Ekstrom is on for 3rd, having started the race in 8th place. Gary Paffett is where it started in 4th place, but not far back. Mercedes, 2 Audis, and Mercedes. Another Audi, Mike Rockenfeller, in 5th place. And then the BMW of Maxime Martin, possibly be ahead of Müller as well, who's still getting those tyres up to temperature. So this is it now, straight fight to the flag. Robert Wickens should have fresher tyres, slightly. Oh, no, so he came in slightly before, didn't he? Greene came in a couple of laps after him, so Greene's got slightly fresher tyres than Robert Wickens. The one in this lead group with the oldest tyres is Matthias Ekstrom, who came in at the end of lap number 1. But he's still keeping pace at the moment. You've got Gary Paffett, who kind of came in the middle of them all as well. So different strategies, they're all together. It's worked so far for Matthias Ekstrom. You say he's a smooth driver, but he can't afford to be too smooth because he's got Gary Paffett right behind him. So Rob Wickens looking for his first race win of the season. His first podium of the season was yesterday when he finished in 2nd place.
Matthias on the pit board, the answer, please. As Matthias stopped.
Didn't quite catch that, the team radio from Jamie
saying
Greene.
something with soft, but I didn't manage to understand the full message.
Something to do with pit boards as well, because he can talk to the team, but the team can't talk to him over the radio, so he's trying to get the message across to the team. Now, here is Nico Müller, number 51, who's come out ahead of Rene Rast, so 7th. So Martin did get him for 6th place, but 7th place, this is a good result for Nico Müller, if he can stay there. Rene Rast just behind him, as you saw. So lap times, Robert Wickens with a 1:17.8, slightly quicker with a 1:17.7 was Jamie Greene, a 1:17.8 for Ekstrom, a 1:18.0 for Paffett, falling away, 1:17.7 for Rockenfeller, 1:17.6 for Maxime Martin, who's only a second behind now, and within DRS of Rocky.
Copy, Matthias has stopped. Copy, Matthias has stopped.
So they're having some communication. Just he's talking on the radio, and the team is answering on the pit board because he said copy. So actually, he got the message. He wanted to know. Somehow they made it to the pit board. So yeah, I mean, this is fair play. This is things they can do.
Yeah.
How they did it is part of the magic.
I'm going to ask a question. You can't answer me on the radio, but you can answer me on the pit board. So that's the way it's working.
I mean, I'm sure with all these teams which are looking for the last tens, the last solution, they already even invented codes or some sort of communication between them that to say, okay, when we tell you on the pit board, 1, 2, 3, 1 means Ixlon, 2 means X, whatever, different type of messages, and the drivers get to know what's...
So that nobody else sees what the message is that might be looking either on the TV cameras or on the pit wall. Closing in is Jamie Greene here for the lead of the race. He's got a good record here as well. We've talked about Gary Paffett, but Jamie Greene won here in 2015 and in 2016. So it's a circuit, not his favourite circuit, as he said yesterday. He likes the high-speed circuits. He prefers the longer version of the Lausitzring circuit. But it's possibly going to be a third win here if he can find a way past Robert Wickens. Meanwhile, Matthias Ekstrom is in third place. Gary Paffett is in fourth. They're still nose to tail. And nose to tail here, we've got Marco Wittmann in ninth. And Lucas Auer is in the points in 10th place. And this is a replay of the pair of them hurtling into turn one and Marco Wittmann getting him back, getting the position back. And switched around. We remember a few laps ago when Marco was on the cold tyres and Lucas Auer to force his way through. Marco now has got obviously fresher tyres and gets him back. A case of drivers perhaps having to be patient and knowing that, okay, I'll let you go now, but I reckon I'll be able to get you back later in the race once my tyres get up to temperature because I'll have more grip because I pitted later. So Robert Wickens, Jamie Greene cross the line just half a second apart, well in DRS zone now. 0.8 of a second between Ekstrom and Paffett for third and fourth positions, but they dropped a couple of seconds behind this pair now. So this is going to be a straight fight to the checkered flag between the Canadian and the Brit. Two very experienced drivers, particularly Jamie Greene.
You cannot see it on the TV, but Paul Di Resta got past Timo Glock on the second sector of the racetrack.
For 13th place. Jamie Greene been in the DTM since 2005. As I said, one of the most experienced drivers, 142 races under his belt, 14 wins, 35 podiums. But looking for the title. He's been up there plenty of times, many times as a race winner at the Lausitzring, which is often talked about. Best season coming in 2012, when we finished third in the DTM. Got a couple of podiums that season as well. That's back when we were having single race weekends. And then he moved from Mercedes to Audi in 2014. Then he switched teams to Team Rosberg in 2015. He's been there since. And then had his very, very best season with second place. He's second at the moment. He's going for the lead of the race here. Jamie Greene lunges down the inside. He leads. Jamie Greene is ahead of Robert Wickens. It's been coming, hasn't it, for a while. He's been closing him down, hunting him down. And after finishing third for Mercedes and second then for Audi in the championship, third again last year, he utterly, utterly wants to win this championship title. And he is going for it. Already a race winner at Hockenheim, and he knows he can bring a load of points back on the Lucas Auer as well, because Lucas Auer, he's in the points, but he's
I want to see the replay. Oh. What a fantastic move. Really tight on the left side of the circuit. Now open, get it stopped in the car, in the corner, rotate it, and using the power down. Of course, using the DRS previously. What a maneuver.
It's two good moves from Jamie. The other one earlier on in the race into the same corner was on Tom Blomqvist, wasn't it?
Yeah. Really good, because it looked like he would not manage to slow down the car, and he really stopped the car, rotated and go on power, not even pulling away. So let's see if Matthias Ekstrom also managed to chase down Robert Wickens. And of course, Gary Paffett is behind.
Terrific driving from the man from Leicester, who now leads the race here, looking for his third win at the Lausitzring. And he's currently fourth in the championship, but Mike Rockenfeller is only 3 points ahead of him in the championship. He won't be worried about that. He'll be worried about Lucas Auer, the one top of the championship. And at the moment, he's going to score 25 points, and Lucas Auer is only going to score a single point for 10th place. So he could be going back up into the top two of the championship here. Jamie Greene, if it stays like this, ahead of this man, Gary Paffett, potentially. With Gary on for 12 points for finishing in fourth place. Gary, though, still has a chance of a podium. Let's see what he can do. Mercedes look on at HWA, hoping that Gary can find a way past Matthias Ekstrom. Eki doing a really good job, though, on these tyres, which, of course, he's had to make last for a whole race so far, bar the first lap.
So let's see if it's not a 1-2 for Audi.
Best BMW is, again, Maxime Martin. He's driven well this weekend, hasn't he? He's certainly been the leading light for BMW this weekend.
Yeah, but also what a lap from Jamie Greene. He got past Robert Wicken and he also put 1.3 seconds, so he was out of the window for DRS, so no chance to get the position back. Now Matthias Ekström is 0.9, so he's in pit, so it's in DRS window against Robert Wicken. So let's see if he uses it. Now we see it's getting closer and closer. Still a bit far away to try some maneuver, but definitely it's making me stay closer to the back of Robert Wicken. When we see now Maro Engel attacking Augusto Farfus. Open DRS.
This is for 11th place.
Muller overtaking Maxime Martin.
He is, yeah. So that's for 6th place. That's on the way into turn 1. So good move from Nico. Driving well here is Nico Muller.
Just see Maro Engel on the outside of... Yeah, Augusto Farfus, yes.
Has he got him? Yes, he got it. He got the way out of turn 1. So
we can see it here from the cabin.
Now Maro Engel is 11th and 10th, and in the points is Lucas Auer. So that is going to be his next target, but he's going to have to try and close more or less 3 seconds to get there. There's the other one that we saw making a move and up into 6th place, Muller. And look at Rene Rast coming as well.
See again the replay. Really good on the brakes on the outside, squeezing Augusto Farfus. What a clean maneuver, yeah.
Nice.
Bit of autocross.
Only a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, very good from Maro. 3 seasons previously in the DTM, coming back for the first time in 5 years and coming back as a much, much stronger driver with his GT sports car endurance experience.
Ekström bouncing. It's not there yet.
Yeah, Robert Wickens is definitely on the back foot. Jamie Greene is so quick, isn't he? He's 1.7 seconds clear already. 1:17.9s. Muller's just done his best lap of the race in 6th place at 1:17.2. He's only 1.1 seconds behind Rockenfeller in 5th. So he's the quickest man on the track at the moment, Nico Muller.
And definitely Mercedes is struggling a little bit with the pace, because you are also seeing that Gary Paffett drop a bit also compared to Matthias Ekström. He was really close to Matthias all the time, and now he's struggling to keep his pace. So both Robert Wickens and Gary Paffett are dropping a little bit.
That's right, yeah. Muller picking up just the one on podium last year. It was at Lausitzring, finishing in 3rd place. Not going to be a podium here, but he's definitely got a chance of catching and passing Rockenfeller for 5th. That'll be it then, though, because the top 4 are well clear. Just about 10.5 minutes to go in the race. Just hugely impressed with Matthias Ekström here. He's often hugely impressive, but really making those tyres last beautifully and actually attacking rather than defending, which is what I thought he would be doing. I thought he'd be on the back foot by this stage of the race.
Here is open again for Matthias, getting closer. Wickens defends a little bit.
Control. Cars 15, Farfus and cars 63 Engel have to change the position in a great overtaking maneuver in turn 1.
Well, there you go. So having to give the position back is Maro Engel.
Yeah, probably because Maro went a little bit on the outside, so the race controller understand that he gained the position and outside of the racetrack.
Because he was off the
track. We need to see if this usually happens when there are all 4 wheels. You need to always have 2 wheels on the tarmac. So we will see maybe a camera from the front or from the air. Maybe we see he was not fully in the track. Yes. So they have to change the position now.
Saying he was beyond the track limit. So rather than giving him a penalty, now just saying you've got to give the position back, which he'll have to do. Which will be very frustrating with him, because he's then trying to catch Lucas Auer for a point. Farfus will be back to 11th place, and there is Farfus.
Yeah, the point is, Maro Engel is now 1.8 seconds in front of... Yeah, unfortunately it's 1.8 seconds in front of Augusto Farfus, so they will have to lift, let Farfus go, and that's so it's...
The problem is you've got all the rest just behind it as well, so it's going to be tricky for him to let Farfus through and not then come under pressure from the number 3 Mercedes of Paul di Resta. But yeah, he's been told that he's going to have to give the position back, and to do that he's going to have to get right off the throttle, because there's Engel across the line. He's a couple of seconds clear of Farfus, and he'll have to do it relatively quickly as well. So that's scuppered his chances. I'm sure in his mind he was then going for a some points and 10th place, but he'll have to do it, otherwise they'll be in real trouble.
Cars 15 and cars 63, Farfus and Engel, have to change the position now.
So they're being repeated on the radio from race control that you've got to change positions. He's just going to have to put in a very slow lap here, isn't he? But as I say, it's going to be tricky because he's got to let Farfus through, but not Paul de Resta, who's right behind him. Either way, they're all out of the points. And that man, Lucas Auer, number 22, is on for the final point in 10th position in the race. Jamie Greene at the head of the field, 2.7 seconds clear now. Rob Wickens, who's only half a second clear of Matthias Ekstrom. He was only 1 second clear of Patrick last time they came through. And you can see Maro Engel backing right off now. Now get back on the throttle, Maro, because Paul de Resta is coming after you as well. Does it beautifully. That was clever, actually, to do it at that point. And it was because, as you said, he went off the road to pull off the pass. As we see that replay of what was a very tidy and clean move that is not under question from Muller and Martin. They keep swapping positions for 6th and 7th place. So having a good battle, the pair of them. So there is your race leader, Jamie Greene, over 3 seconds clear now. Still, it's tight for second place. Still, it's Robert Wickens in the Mercedes hanging on to the position from Matthias Ekstrom. And then Gary Paffett's just falling away now in 4th place. There's a big gap back to Mike Rockenfeller in 5th. And it's Martin and Muller having this duel for 6th and 7th positions. Rast is 8th, Wittmann is 9th, Auer in the points in 10th position. It's going to be his worst result of the season, but it will mean that Lucas Auer has completed all 4 races and picked up points in all 4 of them.
So the DRS open for Matthias Ekstrom now. I think he's closer than ever now. Let's try if he managed to dive into the inside or the outside in the first corner. It's getting closer, 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 closer. Goes on the outside line, brakes, parallel squeeze. Oh, touch a little bit.
It's gonna have the line.
Yeah, he made it.
Got it. Went the outside, knew he'd have the inside, didn't outbrake himself. Beautiful pass from Matthias Ekstrom. Clenched fist on the pit wall. That's my boy. Through he goes. Have some of that. Good move. Really good move from Matthias Ekstrom.
And Matthias is it's on 37 laps tires.
Yes. Shouldn't have any grip, should he, in theory?
And Weekend is only with 15 laps, more or less. So the tires of Matthias has double the track time than Robert Wickens, but he's faster than him, going the pace. So this is telling me also what we've seen in Hockenheim, and we've seen now that Audi is not so quick like Mercedes or BMW at 1 lap in qualifying, but it's a car that takes a lot of care about the tires, and this allows the drivers to do these strategies to pit really early and to keep having a fast pace through the whole race.
Absolutely right, yeah, completely. That Audi has just been so kind to the tyres, and of course the driver as well. Ekstrom doing a super job. He's pulling away now, just leaving them behind. Now, what about that man, Gary Paffett? Can he get on the podium here? He's getting close as well, isn't he, as they go over the line? He's well within DRS, and Gary Paffett now senses. He can smell the blood, can't he? There's a shark coming, and he's hunting down Robert Wickens because he senses that Robert is on the back foot here. The 2 Mercedes running nose to tail. Gary, of course, is the one that's higher up in the championship, so although Robert's really boosted his chances with a good second weekend so far, and they both want the points, they both want the trophy, they both want the podium. Only one of them can get there, though. 3rd and 4th. 4.5 minutes to go. Gary Paffett pushing as hard as he can here. There he is. It's not going to be the sequence of a win every 4 years at the Lausitzring, but I tell you what, a win is coming soon, surely, for Gary Paffett, because he's right back with the leaders this year. There is Mike Rockenfeller, another solid job. More good points for the man 3rd in the championship standings. Nico Muller now putting back away from Maxime Martin, who is coming under close scrutiny from Rene Rast there, the number 33 Audi. Martin still the leading BMW, but with Marco Wittmann also in the points in 9th place, the defending champion. Augusto Farfus not far out of the points at the moment in 11th place, but he is 6.7 seconds down on Lucas Auer, so Lucas should be fine to pick up the final place in the top 10. Only race for Rockenfeller, who was the other one that pitted early. And of course, he's had to come from the middle of the grid as well, so it's been a decent result this for for Rocky. And that's a third, a seventh, a fifth, and another fifth for Rockenfeller. And those are the sorts of points that add up very nicely at the end of the season. So as you say, Rocky hasn't been right up there in the qualifying sessions in the Audi, but come the races, he's another one that's proven that they can look after the tyres well. And no doubt the others in Audi have learned from what Mike's been doing with these early pit stops in the first event at Hockenheim and here as well at the Lausitzring. Well, Robert Wickens just easing back away from Gary Paffett now in this battle for fourth place. Rockenfeller's actually flying along pretty nicely, 117.7. He took a second out of Wickens and Paffett on the previous lap. He's probably going to run out of time, but Rockenfeller is doing his very, very best here to make a fight of it. He's catching them up pretty quickly. And again, old tyres, but the Audi looking after them nicely. There he is on board with them in fifth place, closing down the two ahead, but he's probably going to run out of time. He's only got 2.5 minutes to go before the clock runs out, then one more lap at the end of the 55 minutes. There are third and fourth running through shot. There is Rockenfeller. Rockenfeller again, 117.7. Took half a second out of them as Rene Rast goes for yet another daredevil move down the inside into turn one. Again, he passes Maxime Martin like he did for the podium yesterday, and again he gets through. So Rene Rast through and up to 7th place. Very strong weekend for Rene. Be well pleased with his visit to the Lausitzring. And rising back up and rejoining the tri-oval on the exit to turn 5. Here's a replay then. It's another good move, this, from Rene, wasn't it?
Yeah, just pretty clean. Got the inside line, braked, not really wide on the outside. Nothing much to say.
No, just tidy, wasn't it? Just very neat. Done it 100 times before.
So we will see an overtaking maneuver from Paffett into Wickens. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Wickens is, every time you think Gary's going to have a go, he's able to just stretch back away from him, isn't he? Although he looks fairly close again coming out of turn 12.
Just opened DRS. I think it's not close enough. It's not really close enough. He's within DRS zone, but...
No, there's a good scrap going on for 11th place between Farfus, Engel, Mutara, Di Resta. They're all running pretty close formation. But a long way down on the overall race leaders. Jamie Greene, 3.7 seconds to the good now. After that fantastic move to get the lead of the race on Robert Wickens. The Audi man looking comfortable now, just trying to bring it home. He's on the way into the right-hander at turn 7 as we look out the box window at the commentary box here. Great view of the whole circuit from the Lausitzring, right at the top level of the grandstands.
I think Mortara just got past Engel and Farfus. There must be something happening in the back.
Yes, in that scrap just outside the points in the midfield. There's the gap from first to second. Here, third and fourth still close together. Still Gary Paffett not close enough quite to attack. Again, though, good solid weekends for Gary. 6th place yesterday and currently running 4th.
Are we in the last lap? Was 0 seconds and...
Yeah, we're on the last lap of the race now. The clock ticking down to 0.
Yeah, last lap now.
Jamie Greene is almost home and dry.
Last chance for Gary Paffett. Not there yet. Maybe in the back sector, but I think it's not fully there.
No.
Past Wickens.
Wickens is quick out of the corner as well, isn't he? Stretches back away under braking. There you can see Gary still giving it full beans here to close up. Absolutely on the limits here to try and snatch this final place on the podium to add to the 2nd place and the trophy he picked up at Hockenheim. Here's this battle over the line. That's Eduardo Matara in 11th place in the pink Mercedes. And Maro Engel in 12th. Paul Aresta just behind as well in 13th place. And then Farfus and Glock and Spangler and Blomqvist, 17th place for Blomqvist. Hugely disappointing after starting on the front row, but it was really that 5-second penalty and that fraction of a second jump start that he made. It might have been a podium finish. Certainly, I would think, be a top 6 finish for Tom Blomqvist. Instead, it's going to be 17th place, unfortunately, for him. Great reliability, though, for all of the manufacturers. All 18 cars look like they're going to finish the race. But Jamie Greene, he's going to finish first. The checkered flag comes out. Jamie Greene takes his 2nd win of the season.
Jamie, think about a pickup.
Second place to Matthias Ekström. Robert Wickens holds on to pick up the podium again.
Amazing job. Please collect as much pickup as you can. Save fuel. Save fuel. Crazy job.
So the team.
There was something breaking the car. Something broke on the car. So I will not make it back. You can tell them they need to tow me.
Ah, so Matthias Ekström saying something's failing on the car. And he might.
Data stick. Take the data stick.
So get the data stick, let's find out what's wrong, but it sounds like Matthias is not going to make it back to the pit. Something was breaking on the car, he said. Wow, what a drive from Matthias Ekström, pitting right at the start of the race.
But then really good moment to break something down is
at the end,
when you cross the finish line. So happy days for Audi. And again, we have winner yesterday, Lucas Auer, like we had in Hockenheim. Winner today, Jamie Greene.
Yeah.
So same
winner,
pattern. Same winners. They are, at the moment, they said podium, first place of the podium is for us. They don't want to leave anything for the rest of the drivers.
No, you're right. Exactly the same in terms of a winner piece. It's going to be about those races where you don't win this season, though, isn't it? About the races where do you pick up the points when you can't win, when you're not in a position to win. And, well, Lucas Auer has picked up points every race. There is the broken down car of Matthias Ekström. So they will have to get him back pronto because there are TV interviews awaiting and a podium awaiting as well. So the second place car almost didn't make it back to the end of the race, but it failed late on. What was his last lap time like? Yeah, a 1:20.1, whereas the others were in the 1:17s and 1:18. So he did lose a lot of time on that last lap, which is why he was only in the end 0.7 seconds clear of Wickens. Maybe we can find out more from Dieter Gas, who's speaking with Verena.
Yes, Dieter Gas, I asked you before the race whether you think Jamie Greene's going to make you smile. Now with a double victory, I guess you owe me a double big smile.
Yes, that's true. I mean, fantastic race pace, basically from everybody. All our drivers moved forward, which was really, I mean, if you see what Jamie did and Matthias with the whole race, basically stopping after lap 1 on the same set of tires, having such a pace at the end of the race, like Mike as well, really fantastic for us.
Now, Eki came from P8 to second place, which is really fantastic, but something happened with his car at the end. What happened exactly?
Yeah, we don't know. We only heard it over the radio as well, so we really have to see. But I saw him slowing down in the last lap. It was very close there at the line, even though the lap before he still had a big gap. We have to see.
All right, well, good thing it happened in the end. Congratulations, enjoy, and back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, there then confirmation of the top 10. Jamie Greene, Matthias Ekström, Rob Wickens on the podium. Gary Paffett 4th, Mike Rockefeller 5th, Nico Muller was 6th, Rene Rast 7th, Maxime Martin, and then Marco Wittmann 8th and 9th for BMW. Lucas Auer in the points in 10th place. Mortara 11th, Engel 12th, De Resta 13th, Farfus 14th, Glock 15th, Spengler disappointingly in 16th, Blomqvist even more disappointingly 17th, and Duval 18th. And there he is, second victory of the year for Jamie Greene. His 15th career win now in the DTM. And so of the current crop of drivers, he's the third most winning driver as he seeks out his maiden DTM title. On the scales, make sure you get all the paperwork done and don't make any mistakes after the race is finished. Beautiful drive by Jamie Greene. And a couple of fantastic moves into turn 1 as well. Early on the BMW of Tom Blomqvist, and then, crucially, for the lead of the race on Robert Wickens. But Robert's had a good weekend, 2 podium finishes. And it's an Audi 1-2. Yesterday, it was a Mercedes 1-2. Robert, though, on the podium again. And a rather expensive piece of machinery being towed along here by the officials. And you'll see now a replay of the checkered flag and Jamie Greene winning by a mile. And just behind, it was pretty close in the end between Ekström, Wickens and Paffett, who crossed the line all within a second of each other, with Eki's car starting to fail on that last lap. He lost a couple of seconds, more or less, on the final lap of the race. Great slow-mo then, as Jamie Greene takes his 15th career win in the DTM. And that will push him back ahead of Mike Rockefeller and Gary Paffett in the championship standings will go back up to second place and, of course, closed down by 24 points. Lucas Auer, the points leader. So Lucas is no longer going to have double the points of everybody else, which is what he had before the race started. And this season started badly for Jamie. Crash in the first race, but then a win. And then yesterday, a bit of a struggle, but he got in the points, and another win again today.
Matthias will get his trophy. He's back in the back Feme podium area.
He just wanted his own private reception when he got back, didn't he?
He's going to go to pickups, well.
Yeah, we can have 4 cars in there.
So after our Marshall will get also podium place. No. He's going to get pushed, probably.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, probably the Marshall was thinking, yeah, we'll go now to the podium.
And now you think of these things, these fine margins in motorsport. So Tom Blomqvist, we didn't see what the measurement was, but maybe a few hundreds of, or a couple of tenths of a second, he jumps the start. That ruins his race. What would have been if he hadn't done that? And then what would have happened if the problem had started a fraction earlier on the Audi of Matthias Ekström? As it was, he finished on the podium. There you go then. Auer on 69, Greene on 53, Paffett third in the standings on 46, Mike Rockenfeller just behind, fourth in the standings on 41 points. It's suddenly a lot closer, and that is what a race win can do, especially if your closest rival has a drama. Right, back a bit later than planned for Matthias Ekström.
Just putting the USB stick on his pocket. Yeah. No one saw this.
Well, really good weekend for Robert Wickens. He would have liked to win from pole position, but a good solid weekend for the Canadian who's speaking with Verena.
Yes, I'm here with Robert. Robert, you started from pole position. You ended up on the podium, but however, third place. Are you still pretty happy?
I'm satisfied. I mean, obviously a little disappointed. The first stint of the race went amazing, but yeah, we were just struggling a bit with the rear tires, just overheating them a little bit, and clearly the Audi maybe had a better long pace setup on the car, because I mean Eki I think pitted on like lap 1 or something and made it to second, so there's no way I could have done that.
Right, but congratulations, you did a great job. Third place to Robert Wickens, so back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, satisfied, not ecstatic with that, but well, it's a typical racing driver, really. If you're on pole position, though, you always think race win, don't you? And anything less than that is always going to be slightly disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, you always have as a driver a rule. You have the position where you start, you have either to keep it or improve. And of course, if you're starting on pole, the best thing is to do is to win the race. If you drop some position, it's not what you think, but being on the podium is nevertheless, like he was saying, a satisfying job, a good result, and he needs to take this.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody cares about how many wins you got at the end of the season. It's how many points you got at the end of the season that matters most. Getting some highlights now while we wait for Eki to get to the podium. And he was the star of many of the highlights. There was him on Gary Paffett. On these old tyres, don't forget. The Audi then on Robert Wickens, sweeping around the outside. And then really ailing over the line. He almost didn't make it back, did he? He had Wickens and Paffett bearing down upon him, but he just got the car over the line to finish in second place. And finally, off the back of a toe, gets back to make it to the podium. Terrific drive from Matthias Ekström. Always great value, and you can see why that man has twice been a DTM champion. And top rallycrosser, of course, these days. There is Jamie Greene. He's had loads of time to just chill out now. Get a few slurps of water. Tremendous effort by Jamie, that. And again, you know, frustrating day yesterday because he qualified 11th, but then they made a mistake, the team, in terms of which tyres to put on the car, and he had to start at the back of the grid. So both weekends for Jamie Greene have been good and bad, bittersweet, but at the end of it all, he's second in the championship. Some super slow-mos there of the two Mercedes. Robert Wickens in the foreground, Gary Paffett in the background. Big noise though, because up onto the podium comes your race winner here at the Lausitzring, Jamie Greene. Yes, he's no longer Mr. Norrisring, he's Mr. Sunday now. That's where he does his best work. Jamie Greene, double race winner. Matthias Ekström joins him on the podium in second place, and Robert Wickens completes the happy trio at the end of another quality weekend of racing in the DTM. The new rules are giving us some fantastic battles, And we may not be having loads of different race winners, but we're having loads of good racing. And the championship is going to be super close once again in 2017. So they're our top 3 drivers. All smiles on the podium in front of a huge crowd here at the Lausitzring. And now the British National Anthem. Proud moment for Jamie Greene as he picks up another winner's trophy, moves himself back up into second place in the championship. That race started the weekend. Eyes on the prize, though. It's the championship he wants. He had a great start to last season as well. But this has been a much better start for him. Guido Kutschera, the managing director of DECRA, who support the championship, presenting the winning team's trophy. Team Rosberg supporting Jamie Greene and bringing the car home in first place for Audi. And Catherine Schneider, who's the Minister for Infrastructure and Planning for the region for Brandenburg, presents a very well-deserved second-place trophy to Matthias Ekström, the Swedish driver. He'll be relishing that even more, knowing that he almost didn't finish the race, with the car failing at the end. And Manfred Sandbichler from Hankook, who provide all the tyres and a great product for the DTM, give the third-place trophy now to the Canadian driver, Robert Wickens. Two very happy drivers and one satisfied driver with Robert Wickens, but all bagging decent points this weekend. It's only the second event of the season. We next head to the Hungaroring in Budapest and Hungary, then the Norris Ring, the street circuit where Jamie Greene's always gone so well. And then it's to Moscow, Zandvoort, the Nürburgring, Spielberg and Hockenheim. It's a long and exciting season ahead. Lucas Auer still leading the championship though. And now it's time for the champagne. Wickens is going to get it first. Oh no, Sandbichler's going to get it first. The team are going to get it. Rosberg team representative using the trophy there as a helmet to protect his hair. I'm not sure.
This I've never seen.
No, it's a good idea. Except then he takes it off and they get him anyway. He's got a see-through shirt now as well. Oh dear.
If you do that to just stay to the driver, please do it. You know.
It's always the poor old team members that get the champagne in the face, isn't it? Oh, he's going to drink it now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've got a new star now. It's the trophy helmet. Perfect fit as well for Jamie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tremendous stuff. Absolutely brilliant weekend of racing here. And they're the slow-mos of the trophy helmet being used. And Jamie Greene just went for the rest of the body instead on his Team Rosberg team member. And on a very wet but very happy podium is Verena.
Wet and happy. Eki, you did a fantastic job fighting away from P8 all the way to second place. So congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, it was a lot of gravel in the ice towards the end because driving behind is pretty challenging, but it was a very different race. Pit on the first lap and do the whole race with one set of tires. I did everything I could to nurse them and take care of them, and I could feel towards the end I had a little, call it bubble, when I had to push to compensate for the other guy's new tires, but then everything settled back in and I could attack Robert towards the end. So for me it was kind of challenging, but I mean, Jamie, he deserved the win. He was faster and we didn't have anything for him with the strategy we run, but still I'm happy with P2.
But what happened in the end? I had a bit of a nervous breakdown there when I saw you just before the end. What happened there?
No, something broke. I don't know if I had something in a drive shaft or something, so I was a bit lucky, but sometimes you need luck.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much, Eki, and back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, he's right, isn't he? Whatever happens, whatever you do, you still always need that bit of luck, or at least no bad luck. First podium of the year then for Matthias Ekström. There he is, some super slow-mos of him finishing in second place. Behind this man, Jamie Greene, the race winner. Just under 150 kilometres of racing around the Lausitzring. And Jamie Greene in a strong position in the championship after the first 2 weekends. 5th of the way through the season. And a new fashion for wearing trophies. Our race winner then, Jamie Greene. Brilliant job. He's speaking to Verena.
Jamie, you really did an absolutely brilliant job. I know you're very eager to bite into your banana. As always, Jamie and the banana. Right, but from P3 to P1, you must be absolutely thrilled with this victory. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't have planned the race any better. I had to be patient, but you know, playing the long game, the Audi works really well on the, was really easy on the tyres, and that's what I could use to my advantage today. So I'm really happy with the way I executed that plan.
Yep, and you did a fantastic job at Hockenheimring on Sunday. Today again it's Sunday. Maybe Sunday's your lucky day.
Yeah, although I think we need some better Saturdays as well, to be honest. But it's nice to get another win, and I'm really happy. Team Rosberg and Audi Sport gave me a great car, and it's fantastic to repay them with a result.
And speaking of repaying them with a result, what about Budapest in 4 weeks? What do you expect?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's always hard to predict. It looks really close, as you saw in the quali today. I mean, I was 27 thousandths off pole and I was third. So it's mega, mega close. For that reason, you just can't predict it.
Gonna be exciting, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Jamie Greene. And now here are the highlights of the day. Enjoy, and we'll see you in Budapest. Thank you and bye-bye.